Should you do game jams? The short answer is yes, absolutely. Do some game jams. I've participated in quite a few jams over the years. I think my first one was back in 2013, and I've enjoyed them. But along the way, I've also discovered that they're not really for me. I find them quite stressful, especially the shorter ones. So let's get into some pros and cons. They can be a lot of fun. You can have a lot of fun along the way, whether you meet the challenge or you fail. And I hesitate to use the word fail. I'm using that word loosely because there's really no winning a jam. Everybody's experience is different. Everybody's goals going into the jam are going to be different. Your goal going into the jam doesn't have to be to win it, you know. There's usually no fee to enter. There's usually no prize. It's pretty low stakes. So if you approach it that way, where you're just going into this thing to have some fun, you're going to be making games along with a bunch of other people all trying to do the same thing. It can be a lot of fun. You can also learn a lot. Jams are a great way to kind of push you out of your comfort zone, try new things. And tutorials can only take you so far. You've got to actually just try and jump in and make something on your own, and jams are a good format for that. You're actually, learning by doing. You're learning by trying to do the thing that you want to learn. And I think that's the best way to learn anything. You'll also meet interesting people. It's nice to know that you're not alone, and participating in a jam instantly makes you a member of that jam community. And, you're doing this shared thing, having this shared experience. And like all of life, you get out of it what you put in. So when you participate in that community, when you're sharing your work, when you're encouraging and getting encouragement from others, it feels great. You'll make connections, you'll meet new people. You might even make a friend or two. They also take you through the entire development cycle from start to finish. Do you tend to start projects but not finish them? Well, a jam will force you to finish, and polish and publish your game, because you've got to add stuff like, the menus, you've got to add instructions, you've got to upload it someplace. Those are all super important, but they're often, overlooked or underestimated elements of making a game. And, doing this jam experience will force you to do that and give you a lot of good experience doing that. That said, there are some downsides. Jams are not for everybody. So here are some things to consider. First of all, think about the time frame of the jam. Is it a weekend? Is it a month? Is it a week? How much time are you going to have? And factor in, you've got to sleep, you've got to take breaks, you've got to eat. So it's not like you're going to be doing it 100%. So at least I don't advise you do it that way. So think about the time frame and how much time you're going to actually have to make this game. One of the most famous jams, the Ludum Dare jam, has two different jams over the weekend. One's a 48-hour and one's a 72-hour. And that is incredibly short time to make a full game. Now, if you're an absolute beginner, you're just learning Unity or something, Game Maker, whatever, 48 hours, 72 hours, that is a very, very tight amount of time to not only make a game, but also learn how to use the tools that you're using. It's hard enough to make something in 48 hours if you're an expert. If you don't know how to use your tools, you might have a bad time. On the other hand, just participating and getting your feet wet might be everything that you need. For beginners, though, especially people who've never done a jam before, or maybe you're not as confident in your skills, maybe find a jam with a longer time frame, maybe a week, maybe a month. See how it goes, see how it feels. Also think about the rules of the jam. Some jams are very strict and they say you have to do it by yourself. You have to make everything from scratch. You have to draw your own art, make your own sounds. That's really, really challenging. Other jams are more lenient. They say, work in a team if you want to, turn it in late. We don't care. Use pre-made art and whatever, maybe that's more your style. Maybe you want to force yourself to get better at a certain discipline. Like maybe you want to force yourself to become a better artist. And so in that case, you choose a jam maybe where you have to create some art from scratch instead of using something that's, pre-made. So, evaluate your strengths and weaknesses. Choose a jam with rules that help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve. You've probably heard the advice to make a small game. Now, Everyone's definition of small is going to be a little different. Small for an absolute beginner is going to be much smaller than small for someone who knows what they're doing. Maybe an expert who's done 100 jams, their version of small is going to be different than another person's version of small. You need to be honest and try and think of something that you can actually accomplish within the time based on your skill level and your goals. It's very difficult to estimate how long it's going to take to make something like this. Experts who've done tons of games frequently underestimate how long something's going to take. That last 10% will take longer than you think, Oh, I just need to add some instructions and a little playthrough tutorial and upload it to itch or whatever. It's going to take longer than you think. So keep it small. All right. So if you've made it this far, a couple of words of advice. First of all, failure is okay. It's low stakes. I mean, there's really no such thing as failure. You're trying to make a game. Some of you are going to finish. Some of you aren't. It's fine. Whether you finish or not, you're still going to learn some stuff. Maybe you only got 20% of your game finished. That's okay. Now you have a valuable experience, right? You know what you can do in that time frame now. You can approach your next jam a little more carefully, maybe, and you'll know, boy, that game that I tried last time, I thought it was okay, but it was way too big. So I'm going to try even smaller this time, or try something a little different this time, or I realized the thing that I was trying to do is too hard, so I'm going to change it to this other thing, Great experience, wonderful experience, and you've learned a lot from doing that. So don't feel bad. Maybe what you produced didn't live up to your expectations. You had this great vision in your head and you weren't able to achieve it exactly. That's okay too. I mean, it's a game jam, right? Nothing's going to be perfect. It's all going to be held together by duct tape and wire, It's fine. It's totally okay. If it's a good idea, you can always polish it later after the jam. You can turn it into a real project if you want to. Whatever happens, just think of what you accomplished. Take that experience forward into your next one. Be kind to yourself. Remember to rest. Jams can be stressful, and you should not be sitting in front of your computer for 24 hours in a row without eating or drinking or sleeping, right? Get some rest. I find that I do better work if I'm well rested, if I'm well fed. So I take breaks, I sleep, it's fine. Take care of yourself, Remember, it's low stakes and you don't want to hurt your health trying to win this make-believe prize. Participate in the community, You'll have more fun that way. You'll meet people, so go to the forums, share on Twitter, talk with your fellow jammers who are all participating in the jam. It's kind of like a party, And you can have a lot of fun sharing ideas, talking with people, meeting people, even if you don't finish the game, right? Like the game making part might be the secondary thing to participating in a game jam. Try not to compare yourself to others. Look, there's always somebody better, right? There's always somebody doing something amazing, something that you can't achieve right now, but maybe, you don't know how much experience they have. You don't know their story. Maybe they've been doing this for 20 years. You're just starting. Of course, the work is going to be different. That's okay. Nobody cares, right? Just do your jam, let them do their jam, and have fun along the way. Try not to get down about where you are compared to other people. It's a waste of time. Have fun doing the jam. You will get better the more of them you do, and as your skill level rises. And don't worry about it. So, participate in a jam if you want to, and for your own reasons. They're not for everybody, and that's okay. Be kind to yourself. If you're a beginner, start slow, pick something with relaxed rules and a longer time frame so you can enjoy yourself. And there is always a jam going on. I've put a link to the itch.io jam calendar down below in the description. Tons of jams to choose from. Pick one and dive in. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.